Well, hey guys, it's Jasvinder, and we have not spoken in a long time. So I got, I'm here in the study, I got my feet up, so I'm making sure that I get good and comfortable before I go ahead and make you uncomfortable. That sounds fair, doesn't it? I think so. It's a win-win, you know? You get to grow, I get to be, lazy kitty over here. So, we are talking about creativity. We are talking about three totally actionable ways to be more creative. Why do you want to be more creative? What is creativity worth to you? Everything. Everything. There's a guy named Marshall McLuhan. He said an idea only has to be 10% new to make $1,000,000. So even just being 10% creative, 10% new, but seeing where that 10% of newness is going to fit in what's already out there, that could do amazing things for your life. Any positive change at all is an act of creativity. Don't think of creativity as being artistic. Don't think of it as being completely original. Both of those things are just going to what? Stifle your creativity, actually. So creativity means creation. It means there was once nothing and now there's something. There was something or there was something already there and you are upgrading it. Upgrading it, again, you do not have to reinvent the wheel here. Creativity is about filling a void. When you practice doing that on a small scale in consistent ways in your life, you will start to see larger voids to be filled. But like anything else, that void filling mechanism in your brain that is seeing what's lacking or what's inadequate or what's outdated or what is obsolete is going to continue to get stronger and to take on bigger and bigger things to upgrade. So start small. This isn't part of my 3 pointers yet. I'm just kind of priming you for these. The idea is just look for ways. Look for anything you can do. Don't discount any area where you have an idea. Don't discount any idea that you have. Take your ideas seriously. Work on them, polish them. Even these like very dopey ideas that cross your mind. Joke with friends. Send your silly ideas to people you know. Text people, call people, post them to Facebook. Make it like a joke. Because when you don't take it very serious, when I say don't take it seriously, I mean don't be terrified by taking it way too seriously, but take it seriously enough to put out there. Because when you start doing it as a joke, then you will get past the vulnerability and the fear of being shot down for bad ideas. Have bad ideas on purpose and do them as things that are humorous, and it'll get you past the fear of offering your ideas into a space for critique, into a discursive arena where your ideas are going to be discussed. Start out by joking about it. Anything to get you into this flow of letting them out of your head. That seems like a good idea. So, okay, what do we got here? Think in terms of possibilities. There's a guy named John C. Maxwell. He is one of the foremost experts on leadership anywhere in the world right now. Just plug that guy's name into YouTube or Google and let your intellect feast on his wisdom. He's really something. But he has this book called Thinking for a Change, which is a nice little double entendre, and that book highlights 11 independent but interlocking, but fundamentally mutually exclusive forms of thinking. So one of them, of course, is possibility thinking. Think in terms of possibilities. So I've got 2 ways to do that. So for each of these 3 points, I've got 2 ways to act on both of them. Don't just pick one, do both. Don't just pick 1 out of 3, do all 3. Do all 6. Okay? Do it all. You need all these. I'm not going to waste your time. Don't waste yours either. Think in terms of why not. Flip why to why not. When you've got an idea or a proposition or something that crosses your space, you're going to go, why should I do that? Well, that's kind of lame. Because when you're saying, why should I do it? Well, what you're really saying is, I'm looking for an excuse to not do it. Let's be honest. What you're not doing that Simon Sinek thing where you start with why. don't kid yourself. When you have an idea and you go, why? Why should I do it? Why should I do it? You're looking for an excuse not to, and you know it. So what is that? That's fear-based. It's scarcity-based. You're assuming that it won't work out, and you are just looking for a valid reason to get out of it. What you should do instead is say, why not? Interrogate your reasons for hesitating or declining or trying to avoid something. Because it could be that you have perfectly valid reasons to not do something. Being about possibility thinking and being creative does not mean that you just go and do every damn thing that comes into your head or that someone suggests you to do. You should actually, in a lot of ways, say no. Say no early and say no often, but not impulsively. Examine your reasons. Examine what comes up when you ask yourself, why not? Could be a good reason, could be a bad reason. If they go unexamined, then you will never get past the limiting beliefs. You've got a spidey sense on one hand, and you've got this scaredy cat sense on the other hand. Spiders and cats, you know. In this case, the one that's not so cuddly is the fun one. I don't know how well these analogies hold up. I guess time will tell. So the point is, why not? Examine your reasons. Are these impulsive? Are these fear-based? Are these you equating the past with the future? Are these you having these unexamined associations from past traumas? Or is this your intuition? Is this your instinct? Is this something more elevated and more conscious? You won't know till you ask. Now, the next thing you can do, which is super actionable, super grounded, is you can have a routine to spark more creative ideas. Take a piece of paper. Take a piece of paper. Take a piece of paper and at the very top write 2 words. What if? And a ... What if ... question mark. You're going to number that sheet of paper 1 through 25. And you're going to finish the sentence, what if, 25 times. That's going to do it, man. I'm telling you. You cannot avoid having better ideas if you make a discipline out of this. You're going to do 1 through 25. What if I got out of debt? What if I woke up an hour earlier? What if I ate better? What if I really could do what I've just been dreaming about doing? What if I just went for it? In my case, like, what if I just started coaching people? What if I just started putting stuff out on the internet? What if I just started doing blogging and video blogging and podcasting and making Instagram memes and doing Periscope broadcasts and tweeting things and reposting things? What if I just got in the game? Amazing things have happened. Amazing things have happened since I started doing that. And I'm going to circle back to that later. But think in terms of what ifs. Give yourself 25 what if sentences to finish every day. Watch what happens. At the end of 1 week, you've got, what, 25 times 7 new ideas? Even if you just took 3 of those. 3 ideas a week. And actually acted on them, your life would completely change in a matter of months. Think about that. That's anywhere from 12 to 15 new ideas a month. Right? That's over 144 new ideas a year. What will that do to your life? Your life will not be the same. That much is a foregone conclusion. Which takes me to my next point, which is to assume that you have impact. And I'll tell you from experience, one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life is assuming that I had no impact. Assuming that I was not heard, not seen, and had no effect on anything around me. That I was invisible and powerless. That is completely not true. And the way that I realized that that was not true, again, to be authentic and to be vulnerable with you as well, since I'm talking about things that are, I'm asking that vulnerability and that authenticity and that realness of you between you and yourself. And I think it's only fair that I offer that to you from myself too. So the way that I realized that was not the case, that I did have an impact, is I saw that I was having a negative impact, right? Pain will wake you up. As it says in the book, I Am That, by Nisargadatta Maharaj. He says, pain wakes you up. Pleasure puts you to sleep. If you don't like being woken up, don't go to sleep. Just think about that. You can think about that for the next 20 years. That's like a diamond of language. Pain wakes you up, pleasure puts you to sleep. If you don't like being woken up, don't go to sleep. So pain will wake you up. Pain will make you, pain will demand your attention. It will force your attention to wherever you have not been keeping it with some good intentionality. Pain will do it. So I realized I had an impact because I saw that I was having a negative impact. I saw that the nature of my activity with respect to certain areas of my life was affecting things, and it was affecting things in a way that I wasn't happy with. And I saw that a lot of things that I was not happy with about my life were remarkably determined by what I was doing or not doing with respect to those things. See? We think we're powerless. We think we're a product of our circumstances. We think you don't choose your fate. But these little hackneyed platitudes that you hear over and over again about how life is what you make of it, and blah blue blue. Well, motherfucker, it's true. So what are you going to do? Decide what kind of impact you want to have. You look at anything that's going on. You look at any area of your life. You look at your finances, your health, your relationships, your leisure time, your friendships, your intimate relationships. I mean, that's like 3 kinds of ways of saying relationships, what I said anyway. But I'm trying to, if you find this abstract, which is unfortunate because it's not, if you do find it abstract, I got to just kind of bullet point on a little more of a granular level. Your income, your career, your expenses. Your behavior doesn't affect those things? Come on, man. What the hell are you talking about? You telling me where you work doesn't affect what your income is? You're telling me where you live doesn't determine where your expenses are? You're telling me what you eat doesn't determine your expenses? So yes, you have an impact. Clearly, right? So decide what kind of an impact you want it to be. Because your default impact is just not good enough. Your default impact is that sort of blindfolded, kid with the baseball bat, and your life is the piñata. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, decide on something, right? So, what do we got? Once you decide the kind of impact you have, and you want to go about making an impact, the first thing you're going to do is back away from it, not do it, talk yourself out of it, procrastinate, be lame, because you think you're not ready, you think you're not skilled enough, you think you're not advanced enough, you think you don't have enough information or good enough of a plan. That may or may not be true. What I mean by that is that actually might be true. It actually might be true that you're not ready. It actually might be true that you don't have the skills. Don't let that stop you. So here's my thing. I don't care about the motivational stuff. I don't fucking give a shit about motivational talk. Like, not for one fucking second do I give a shit about it. Or avoiding swear words, apparently. Family-friendly network, who knew? I don't care about that motivational stuff, man. I care about what you can do even when you feel unmotivated. I care about what you can do even when you feel like a total lame ass. I care about what will work on your worst day. Because what I learned in the finance industry is you choose an investment vehicle, let's say, based on what will happen in the worst case scenario. There are investment products where if you make the wrong choice, you will lose everything. There are investment products where if you go that way, at the very least, you'll make 6%. It's more than inflation. So that's a better worst case. The best case is much better, right? But if the worst case is still beating inflation, then you should do it because you're making more than if you let it sit in a savings account. You see what I'm saying? So you choose based on the worst case. You choose based on the worst case. So I go about my philosophy of coaching the same way. What's going to work on your worst day? On your best day, all you got to do is not screw it up. Because everything else, your good energy is going to just make everything happen for you in the best way. But you can't be like your best self every single day. Some people do. They've got to have some weird chromosome that I haven't heard of. We have ups and downs, right? You have ups and downs, I have ups and downs. So what do you do on your worst day? That's a long digression, but I think that's necessary. So, let's suppose you don't think you're up to it. I bet you have people in your life who you think of as better than you. Now, as much as I'd like to say don't think that way, you already do, don't you? there are already people around you who you look up to and you're like, wow, that guy's got it together. So start to think of people who you know who need to know each other and who don't know each other. I mean, you should be confident in your skills. You should get out there and you should do things. You should make things happen. But let's suppose you are really down in the dumps, man. Let's suppose you really feel, immobilized by all kinds of mental gobbledygook. Well, take those people that you know who are these kind of high performance machine type people and be like, hey, that guy, I'll just give you a real life example. Hey, this guy that I went to high school with, he does like this aerial drone videography, like landscape drone videography, and it looks amazing. It looks really good. He posts it to Facebook here and there, and I'm just like stunned by the beauty of it, actually. And then I've got these guys who I work with doing, like content marketing, content writing kinds of stuff, and they're thinking of maybe doing, some events, like some destination retreat type events, leadership kind of conference type stuff, right? So I'm thinking, hey, what if, as a way of marketing our events, we were to contract this guy with the aerial drone videography stuff and, hire him to do, get some footage of the area where we're having our events and make an ad, to market to people that we want to attend the event. And how amazing would that look? And here I am connecting the dots. I'm connecting people who are doing things that are different but very complementary on a very high level. And I'm saying they should get to know each other. I know for a fact they don't know each other, right? So that kind of stuff. Search your contact list. Start to make things happen. And the way things work is that you keep making things happen for other people. They're going to ask you, what can I do for you? That happens all the time. I mean, just the other day, I sat down, met with this remarkable person who has been doing really amazing things in terms of creating YouTube content to make the voices of women in countries with a very oppressive culture and a very misogynistic culture, making their voices heard. Just an amazing person. And I'm thinking about all these things that I can do to move the ball forward on some projects that she's working on. And what of course happens is she gets to this point where she's going, what can I do for you? And it was sort of like, gosh, I don't know. That's not why I'm here. But now that you mention it, sure, you can do blankety blankety blank. Same thing will happen for you. Don't refuse help when it's offered. If it feels good to give when you give, realize that when other people give to you, it feels good to them too. Okay? So, last one here. Just pursue what actually interests you. Don't make this hurdle of not knowing what to do, where to start, what should I do? I'm so helpless. Help me. You're not. Snap out of it, man. You already know what to do. You already know what you would like to be doing, what you care about, what you enjoy, because you're already doing it. Look at how you spend your time when you don't have the time to spend. Look at what you do when you're procrastinating. Look at what you are sharing to Facebook. Look at what you are getting into heated, inspired, animated, high energy conversations about with people. What are you reading about? What are you texting your friends about? What are you talking about? What gets you going? What gets you talking? What kinds of ideas get you going? That's what actually interests you. You are doing it in this way that seems unremarkable and unworthy of serious interest because that's what keeps you're playing small in those areas because you don't realize that your interests are a good enough place to start. So you're continuing to play small and to play in the shadows, and you're continuing to relegate your real interests and your real passions and what really motivates you. You are continuing to relegate that to the area of what you do when you procrastinate, what you do when you kill time. What if you just ran with it? Everything I'm doing now, I just ran with it. The path to monetizing your interests will show itself if you just do what interests you. And you can start by connecting people who are doing things that you find interesting. Thinking about what ifs and why nots, and who's doing some stuff that I think is really cool. Suppose that you just don't think you're very cool at all, which is dumb, because you're plenty cool. You just don't realize it. You know, like you're so money and you don't even know it. You know, it's like that. But you don't own it. You don't own it, so you don't believe it. Well, do some things that will convince you that you're awesome. You know, just be that boss ass bitch. Do it. What a ridiculous video I've recorded already. You don't need the skills. You don't need the skills to do it. The idea is enough. You got a great idea, and you're going, but I can't do that. Like, I don't know how to found a company, but I met a guy who does, and we might be doing something. We might not, but who cares? Who cares? Because it's not about whether you win or lose. It's about whether you are invited to play again. And being invited to play again is about thinking creatively. Because this or that time at bat may end up in a home run or a strikeout. A lot of that has to do with stuff that's beyond your control. A lot of other people have to be willing at the right time, in the right way, for the right reasons. And they have to be the right people if great things are going to happen. So it's not your fault. Sometimes it is, but a lot of the time it's not your fault when things don't work out. What matters is getting back up to the plate again and again and again and again and again. So don't watch the scoreboard. Just keep getting back up to the plate and do those things. Let's just run through them again because we're running long on this thing. Think in terms of possibilities. Flip why to why not. Answer the question what if ... 25 times every single fucking day. Do it. Just do it, damn it. Assume that you have an impact. Decide the kind of impact that you want to have. Think of people that you know who need to know each other. Connect them. Show them the possibilities that you see with them speaking with each other. And just do what already interests you. Trust that the path to monetizing your interests will show itself if you are going about your interests in the ways that I've just described. Right? There's a reason why this is a 1, 2, 3 system. Okay? And again, you don't have to be the guy to do it. You don't have to be the person to make it happen. All you got to do is connect the people. Your best guess as to who can make this happen is a good enough place to start. Well, guys, thank you for your time. My name is Jasvinder. I hope this has served you. Of course, if it has, then share the video. Share it around, right? If this is useful, if this is useful for you, trust that you're not the only one who would feel that way. Fair enough? So, guys, I'm looking forward to talking with you again soon, and have a beautiful day. All right.